Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
All right. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
We're trying to pull off some last-minute hurdles here, trying to route
As
sound
always.
from Mini VMAC. The good news is we didn't waste a lot of time trying to solve it because we waited till the last minute.
Well, I mean, it was still, half hour, 45 minutes of us trying to...
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. It was... what happened to... somehow Mini VMAC must be doing some weird things with the sound that it was actually interrupting
disrupting how we were hearing
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would play Mini VMAC, and the whole point we were trying to get the sound, so you hear the sound effects of the game we were going to share. And then it would immediately knock John's audio down, so I couldn't hear him. I mean, I could hear him, but it was just garbage. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Why doesn't Mini VMAC play nice in the modern world? Well, anyway, so much for that. We tried. All right, well, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Good morning, all.
Steve, Eric, Garth, Trina. Hey, all right. Good
All
morning,
right.
good afternoon, good evening, wherever anyone is watching from.
Okay, let's go for start in
All right.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 631 for October 30th, 2022. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James. So,
I heard
what are we
it.
going to talk
What was-
about today?
I heard something in the
that's-
background. Was that you?
Right. So what you hear is after the last podcast, James and I were trying to figure out something that would be kind of Halloween adjacent, and I thought about the game Warlock, which is one I used to play for the 2GS, and I knew there was a Mac version. So that's what we are going to talk about today.
I think we said
Warlock.
something about dressing up in costume. I see. You didn't.
This is
promise.
I mean, was I wore a Hawaiian shirt. I have a beard.
I had an idea. I had my
glasses.
mock turtleneck and my my Steve Jobs round rim glasses, but then I realized if I wore those things, I wouldn't be able to see or at least read.
Is they an old prescription, or are they just cosmetic?
No. They're just clear glass. Okay, well, we fell down on that one. All right. Garth says you're Hawaii man. I guess that's something. Okay, well, so yeah, we're gonna get to Warlock a little later, but we've got eBay finds coming up next. Okay.
So speaking of that, let me actually bring up the eBay finds because I've been so busy messing with Mini VMAC.
Yeah.
I had not even brought them up.
All right. I'll start whenever you're ready.
I am ready.
Garth, you recognize my shirt? Garth wins the prize if he can say what is on the back of this shirt.
Oh.
Because the front is also, what does it say? Exercise your brain. What does the back say? That's your...
I was trying to bring you in bigger so we could see it, but guess it didn't work.
Well, trust me, it says exercise your brain. That's all it says. All right. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's time for the eBay finds. Last week there was that wonderfully complete set Macintosh 512K with box, all original software, accessories, and some extra little stuff. And they're an external floppy drive. What did that go for? Well, it's still available. Buy it now, $900. No make an offer. Then we had the Apple IIc promotional poster, the woman in the yellow sweatshirt kind of cradling an Apple IIc. And that one is still available. Buy it now for $25. That's $425. No make an offer on that one. And then the collection, where was this? Oh, Denmark. There was a collection of, I don't know, was there over 100? I can't remember exactly. 120 Apple machines, various types, Macs, Apple computers. Printers, I think, in there. This one's still available. Buy it now of $15,200. We'll begin
Pretty cool collection.
this week with this. It says Apple Macintosh 128K empty case. So if you're looking at the picture, you're like, wait. So what's going on there? It says empty case. Well, it says the screen you see is nothing more than a laminated photo of the startup screen, scotch taped to the inside of the case to make it look like a running Mac. It is not. It is just the empty case.
Interesting.
And they looked up the serial number, said it was manufactured at the Fremont plant the 29th week of 1984. So an empty case. An empty case, you can do a lot of things with an empty case because you know.
Absolutely. I've done several interesting things with an empty case. Of course, this one being the 128K is going to have all those wonderful signatures inside, which makes it, just opportunity to remove that piece of paper on the front and throw a little light in there so you can see the signatures.
Yeah, that's like the easiest thing you could do.
That's what I would do. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Of course, beyond that, you could outfit
a nice
it
Macquarium if you want to go old school, right?
Macquarium, or put your own screen, put a Raspberry Pi based thing, or maybe you need a case to complete your 128 if you got a B up case. This case looks like it's in pretty good shape. There's a little mark there on the contrast knob.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's in pretty good shape, right?
It is. Yeah.
I'm looking at what's going on here with the mouse port.
I was just trying to figure that out myself.
Is that
you know
what? What is that?
Wondering, do you think the aluminum shield that went around that went over the
maybe
underneath the bottom of the case is still in there somewhere, jammed in there? It's kind of looks a little bit like some bent aluminum or aluminium, depending on again where you're listening from.
Yeah. Well, what do they want for an empty case in pretty good shape, shipping from Riverview, Michigan? They want to buy it now, $149.99.
Which is crazy.
Is it crazy?
I mean, yeah. If it was 100% pristine and it still had say the back cover port for the battery, which it does not. Maybe.
So maybe not so crazy. Maybe not so crazy. I don't know. But it makes you think about a time not too long ago when you could pick up this thing running
the whole system
around that.
Right. Yeah.
Back before these became very collectable.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Garth points out something very good. It looks like a bad RetroBrite job. Do you see how faded the badge?
It is kind of faded, isn't it? But the whole picture is. It's almost like the whole.
Oh, like they made. Yeah. You're right. Because I'm looking at the black part on the screen, I should say, but it's printed, so I guess it really doesn't help.
It looks like
Yeah, you're right. Because even on the. Yeah, if they try to retrobite this, though, that's exactly what would have happened to that badge. It would have faded it out.
So
and Steve Mac84 mentions that he's gotten the cases alone for under $50 recently. So
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if you could find one for $50, sure.
Heck yeah.
But those are hard to come by. So, okay, well, let's move along to the next one.
All right, next up, this is one of those. Hey, I'm going to buy enough Macs to make a piece of furniture out of. It's a lot of 2CX and 2CI computers. Let's see here in the description. 5 2CIs and 2 2CXs. No cables included. All non-working. Lot of non-working. So yeah, it's a small tower, and all these computers have issues, as evidenced by the label on the front that somebody put on them that says issues. So
Like daddy
everyone has issues
issues
these days,
or
right? Yeah, who knows? Abandonment issues, I'm guessing, because look at the case. Oh my gosh! All right, looking at the backs of these cases, guys. One of
What?
these looks like
Which
there's
one?
some serious internal issues have happened to it. You don't normally see that much corrosion on the outside of a plastic
Oh, this
case,
one here
but
near the bottom.
holy cow. That is
Yeah, what's happening here?
yeah,
Little leakage.
something's oozed a
Yeah.
lot. So if you want a stack of 2CXs/2CIs, you can do a buy it now of $350. There is a make an offer. The shipping on this to us from Cincinnati is $157. Of course, free local pickup if you're in the Cincinnati area.
These are some nice projects here to get behind. You can see.
Talking about
Yeah.
cases, project cases, yeah. But yeah,
I guess as they were used in some kind of commercial educational environment. They've got some of them have the what do you call the lock inserts.
Yeah, the Kensington security lock sort of thing. Sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if there was even anything. So if there were cards in some of these, which some of them are missing the back slot, like there was a card, probably.
I don't see. It looks like cards were
I don't
pulled.
see any cards are in there. So yeah, it looks
No.
like the cards were pulled. I'm guessing you're not going to find much inside of these since there's issues. They may have pulled the RAM. They may have pulled the hard drives. Well, these and then whatever's happening on that one.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it does have power supplies. It's just the connectors are black. I was wondering about that.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I still only see it in what, one of them?
It may be there.
3. The top 3 or 4, but then the couple of bottom ones do. You're right. It does look like those bottom 3 are bottom 2 are empty.
You can see it.
Okay.
You look carefully enough. It's there. Yeah.
It's there. Okay. All right.
It's just black connectors. All right. Well, there's some nice work to be done there.
Yeah. All right. What's our last one for the week?
Okay, the last one is titled Macintosh 128K upgraded to 1024K Beck Tech upgrade, original Picasso box. The description reads, up for sales on Macintosh 128K upgraded to a 1 megabyte Beck Tech upgrade. Originally started at a 128K, it has a Beck Tech rare card that brings memory up to 1 megabyte. Overall condition is very good, little signs of wear. Plastic is in good condition. Screen is still bright. Disk drive works fine. Ejects with no issues. Has the OEM boot disk. Keyboard is French layout with some signs of wear.
Interesting.
There's a box in used condition, but the serial number does not match. So, and there's an aftermarket blue carrying case. Okay, so are you familiar with?
I am not, but if you go to the next couple of pictures down where you see the logic board, not only is there a daughter board on there, but they've also had to swap out a couple of the ROMs. It looks like I see there's two chips with white labels that say Apple 1984 enhancements, Beck Tech 1985. So high and low, that would be your ROMs.
Memory, yep. And then here's this blue daughter board that says Mac Megabytes Beck Tech 1985.
And as opposed to some of the other cards that I've seen that kind of go on, actually kind of on the processor, it looks like this is not touching the processor at all. So it must just be going into the it's got to be I guess maybe you had to pull the original RAM chips and pop this in there, perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah.
Huh.
Interesting. And the case looks like it's in pretty good shape.
Case looks good. Yep. Keyboard and mouse.
Square, no fading.
Not bad.
Keyboard, mouse. They've even taken a picture of the inside with the hardware, the internals
so
removed. Show you
here's
the
another
signatures.
thing: this is
Yeah.
a later 128K Macintosh. This is actually labeled on the back instead of just saying Macintosh next to the
Yeah.
Apple logo. It's got the
Says
Macintosh
128K.
128K.
There's a little case for it. The non-serial matching box. And there's a shot of it booting up. Monitor looks nice and clean. And yeah, even the space bar on the keyboard doesn't have that odd discoloring. Or if it does, it's pretty minimal. Yeah. Not bad at all. This is sold by West Island Electronics. They want the princely sum of 2,000. Well, that's Canadian. 26.39 Canadian, which is about $1,939 US. Or you can make an offer.
Still about $1,000 too much, if not even more.
Well, yeah, it's pricey. I don't know how much demand and how rare that Tech mod is. And if that's
but here's the thing with those mods nowadays. If you're buying an old 128K Mac, you want to have an old 128K Mac. If you want something with more RAM, you're just going to get yourself a Mac Plus, right?
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
You're right. It probably doesn't add anything to the value of this thing. You want to stock. You want to preserve the original machine.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
So he's probably priced himself out of the market on this one. So maybe we'll see a decrease. How long this sits? This has a little over a day to go. So we'll check in next week, see how it does. Okay.
All right. So I know you've got some stuff to share about.
Yeah.
Are you going to read the description that you read?
I got some stuff. I will start us off.
Okay.
If you want to prepare to share your screen when we get to that point.
All ready.
Move some. I need to move some menus around.
It looks like you've got a 1-bit Fever Dreams. Hello, CSK. Hello.
1-bit Fever Dream. Oh my gosh, that sounds like
it sounds like brand new to the channel. Hey, new Mac channel. Wasn't aware of. Cool, nice. All right. Well, welcome.
All right. Let's get into Warlock.
Warlock.
Share screen here, and let's go in 3, 2, 1. Your quest will take you through 20 levels of clammy ruins, infested cemeteries, and dangling skeletons. Equipped with only your wits and your scepter, you'll defend yourself from a motley assortment of ghouls, goblins, and gobbling gargoyles as ever stalked a computer screen. Along the way, you'll locate the 8 magical guides. Oh, see, I already messed that up. I was trying to
cut.
Cut.
Reset.
Along the way, you'll locate the 8 magical objects that will guide and assist you. And you'll need all the help you can get, because there, at the Earth's core, you'll meet and do battle with he who has stolen the Karna. His evil is unspeakable, his power unimaginable, his name unpronounceable, and he doesn't negotiate. Yes, that is.
But his friends call him Bill.
Bill the Warlock. Warlock is a game published by 360 in 1988. It didn't start off as Warlock. It actually started off as not that, but it started off there. Warlock's Quest. And from what I read, it was originally an Atari ST game.
Okay.
Got ported to a number of platforms, including the Amiga, the Apple IIGS.
Apple IIGS is what I'm familiar with. Yeah, so that's where I first played this. Was on my 2GS. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it got a classic Mac port at some point. Cute little game. There's not a whole lot out there online.
It was kind of weird. There's a kind of oddly written Wikipedia entry about Warlock or Warlock's Quest. It took me a little while to find because it was called Warlock's Quest, and Um, Again, yeah, this is basically it's just the gameplay is it's a platformer, fight and go right sort of game. Of course, the 2GS version was in color, but
Hmm.
it's a fun little game. I don't. Do you want me to go ahead and do
Yeah,
this
play a
here?
little bit.
Okay, yeah.
So here's where we're having
So you,
troubles with
you
the
can
sound.
you yeah, but
It-
you've probably heard the sounds in the background. So I've actually got it running on a Mac behind me, and you can hear the thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening. Me. Um, all right. So everyone who's watched this and watched me play a game before knows just how awesome I am at game playing. So I have not made it far, but
yeah,
um, so yeah, you've got. See here.
but it works. It works.
It does, yeah. So
With the
you
one
so
bit.
like every level tells you what you're fighting. Like so, our first level we've got zombies. Our next level we've got what I'm just going to call palm trees, but according to this, it's krakens. But come on, tell me that these are not palm trees I'm fighting. Just saying. And then oh yeah, so the other part of the gameplay is there's basically two levels. You've got above ground and you've got a below ground area. And the below ground area, you've got to watch out for traps and all sorts of goodies. So now I'm fighting bats. They look like bats as opposed to the palm tree krakens. Yeah, next level is ghosts. And the basic gameplay is you've got a vitality setting, you've got a power
It's like
setting.
your
So every
health.
time you fire, the
Mhm.
power goes down. Every time you actually accidentally get hit by something, it will kill most of the stuff that you run into, but it
Mhm.
will, of course, knock out your vitality. And the vitality also works as a timer. It basically goes down as you're playing.
Oh,
Um, there are, of course, a lot of power ups you can find throughout the game, and a lot of kind of boss level foes that take multiple hits to get through. The black and white graphics, I mean, the color graphics look really nice on the 2GS, and that again, that's what I was used to. The fact that this was ported to, of course, just your standard black and white Mac graphics hasn't really detracted. They did a good job, I think, of
mhm.
converting the graphics to something that works on the Mac. All in all, it's a fun little game to play, and again, it was a good one to kind of Halloween theme, since you've got bats,
Yeah.
ghosts, goblins, gargoyles, gargling Gershwin, stuff like that.
Oh wow.
So there I am.
Yeah,
Just going to
I like
pause
that. I
that.
like the animation in this one bit.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. It's a
it's a
really
great
nice
game
animation.
for System 6. Of course, reminds us of oh, what's the other game?
Ghosts and Goblins. So yeah, yeah.
Oh,
This whole thing is a takeoff of the arcade game Ghosts and Goblins.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah, and so you can download the image on Macintosh Garden.
Macintosh Garden. So and I ran into an issue with the one image that was on there.
Hmm.
When I was trying to play it,
Oh,
it was corrupted or something like that. But there was a MAR file on there, which I had never even heard of MAR. And it's a Mozilla archive something or other.
uh-huh.
So I had to go to another part on Macintosh Garden to download the program that let me unmar the image. Once I was able to do that, then I was able to play it. So there are
Okay.
some issues. Or if you want to try the Apple 2GS version, if you want to try a color version, the Apple 2GS, if you go over to what is the 2GS dot, I want to say it's .com, you can get the 2GS version to try as well.
Yeah, and there's even there's a hacked version, right, that gives you unlimited
Yeah. There's a cheat
ammo
version
as
which I haven't
well.
tried yet. If you want to just kind of power your way through the entire game just to see what all the levels are, which is, I think weren't you watching a YouTube video of somebody doing a playthrough and they
Yeah,
basically were invulnerable while they were playing it?
this person had dedicated a bulk of their childhood to this game and never beat it. So it's a tough one for sure. You wind up just
Oh yeah,
throwing your hands up
there's how many
and
different
cheating.
levels? There's a ton of different levels, like 30 or so, I
Yeah,
think.
it goes on forever. So yeah, I bet you if you really applied yourself, you probably still wind up surrendering and cheating your way through this one, and you'll see that you don't even the reward is not worth the effort at the end. But yeah, I mean, I'd never heard of this game. It's just a classic old system.
It really is, yeah.
And there you have it. So go on over to Macintosh Garden and yeah, be wary of the weird formatting of the image that John mentioned.
Yeah, what I may do is I may go ahead and repackage this, the one that I know is working for Mini VMAC into a 608 disk image and put it up there to make it easier for future peeps that want to try to play it. Yeah.
Okay, let's switch over to the news and let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, it's time for the news. Last week we talked about the Bonhams auctions that were ongoing, so we wanted to follow up on how those turned out. The big one that everybody was talking about was the Macintosh that maybe Steve Jobs walked by it in the office. Not sure if he laid hands on it or what, but it may have breathed the same air as Steve Jobs. In which case, it's worth a crap ton of money. And well, did it? See, I'm looking at the auction here, and it doesn't look like it sold. Like it kind of ended. I don't know. It says amended is the result of this. They
amended, huh?
Yeah, they estimated between $200,000 and $300,000 they thought they were going to get for this, and the result shows amended. And I read through the description. I could not tell exactly what had changed, and it doesn't look like you can even bid on it any longer. So what's happening here? I have no idea. It's very cryptic. The others were less so. We talked about the ventless Rev Zero Apple II. This one,
oh yeah,
it says the rarest, most impactful Apple. This one did sell, and it sold for a whopping $35,655. Which, is that a record for an Apple II? Must be. I don't know. Does anybody have heard of an Apple II being sold for more than $35,000? Crazy. But this is a nice one and a very early one about the vents. What did we say? Do we give an estimate? There wasn't even an estimate. I think we estimated that these were
like how many?
It was just limited runs. I don't forget how many
right.
batches were made with this before they discovered or responded to the overheating problems. There were a bunch of other miscellaneous items that associated with Apple that did close out. Some of them we didn't even mention last week, but I want to go over them here because they're kind of curious. Like this one, the title is "Rare Technical Album of Schematics." And it says it's just a technical Apple that includes schematics for the Apple II, 2C, Lisa, Profile, Shugart Drive, Mouse, Apple II Mouse, Apple Talk, Image Writer, AppleNet, etc. Extremely rare. This one sold. Well, let's look at the pictures here. If this website will cooperate, it will eventually show me. It's like spinning. Well, maybe it worked earlier in the rehearsal. Oh, there it is. That good thing we waited for that, right? There's a lot of.
That's right.
Big image. It says Apple Service Level 2 Technical Reference, Volume 2, and then it's spiral bound.
Yeah.
And each page has a different schematic at the chip level.
That's nice.
So you get the pinouts and the associated wiring.
Yeah.
So what am I looking at here? This is the schematic for, it says IBM/Apple Talk.
Apple Talk. Wow. I also like that the front cover was still using the Mototectura font.
Right.
Back then.
And then they're all stamped Apple Computer Confidential, right? These were engineering release, and this was not for to be released for the public. Here's the Apple II parallel interface card schematic. That was just a couple of samples of what's in there, but of course there's a lot more. This one sold for $701.25. Kind of cool. Okay. And then here's a flag, an Apple computer flag.
Have they got a flag?
It is a European retailer flag that's 995 by 1,505 millimeters. So you have to do the translation on that. It says Apple computer in the Garamond font with a 6-color Apple logo. This one sold for $700. So there you go. Kind of a newer item. How about a Steve Jobs Next business card? If you ever were around Steve Jobs and he handed you his card and you kept it for all these years, what do you think that one's worth? How about $4,000?
$4,000 for it. It's not like he signed it or anything. It's just a business card. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So screen grab that one and go to your favorite software and make your own if you really want one. But
that's some crazy talk right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's somebody that has like a stack of them that they
right. Yeah. Just
company
slowly doling them out. Mm-hmm.
And this one from the Think Different advertising campaign, it was the printed vinyl banner edition of
Picasso.
Well, I was going to say not Picasso like the Picasso Mac, but like the actual
dude. The dude
Pablo
with both eyes on the right side of his head, and not your standard. Picasso,
wearing his prison uniform. I don't know what he's dressed there, but
mime. He's a mime.
This
he was
probably
well known for his stuck in an invisible box routine.
This beret. Sold for $1,530. So, and then I want to conclude with this. This is fun. This is a 1995 annual performance review at Next. So Steve Jobs is at Next, and he's got a bunch of employees, and they do employer things like review their performance annually. And so this front page shows the criteria, the rating scale that they would give you if you worked Next. So the purpose of the review enables each employee to review their job responsibilities and job performance. And then it goes on to say what you either exceed expectations, and it goes on to detail what that means. You consistently perform well, or you need improvement. So 3 major ratings there. And then the next page, the employer, in this case, Steve Jobs, who's doing the rating, would mark along that scale between exceeds expectations and needs improvement. And this guy, oops, I'm messing around here with my zooming here. This guy got just shy of exceeding expectations, so pretty good review.
So who's the guy? I wish I could make out that signature.
Can't really read it out. And then there's summary comments that the manager could have written. In this case, Steve Jobs, which didn't want to be bothered, didn't have anything specific to say. I guess he figured if you exceed expectations, that's good enough. I don't need to say anything more about that.
Yeah. If Steve is saying, yeah, you're doing pretty good, that's pretty much all you need, right?
That's all you need. Yeah. What's interesting about this one, though, is that the form allows the employee to make a statement about themselves to their manager, presumably after the rating has been issued. So I'll read what this employee, which we can't make out the signature, but this employee thought of themselves. They said, halfway through my 6th year with the company, I find myself still excited by the challenges that face me in my job every day and the future opportunities that we are striving for. Working together with Steve as his true right hand and teammate has been and continues to be both a earning and fulfilling experience. In my opinion, when 2 people work well together, the results of 1 + 1 don't have to equal 2. I believe Steve and I have developed such a compatible and powerful working relationship that together we equal a workforce of 3 plus not 2.
Interesting. Well, we should probably be able to look up next
Who was there? Yeah, 6 years
members
in,
and
and
yeah,
I wonder how many people
figure out
thought that
who
they
that
were
is.
Steve's right hand. Hopefully, it was just one. Maybe somebody else was the left. I don't know, but maybe this was the person that might actually use that MacCast C. But so this one, so it's just 2 pages of the original signatures of this performance review. This one was withdrawn. See, this one actually says withdrawn, unlike the Mac. It says withdrawn, and it was amended, and it did not sell as far as we can tell, but it did have an estimate between $6,000 and $8,000.
Wow.
Which is probably more than the bonus this employee actually got for doing a year's worth of work, right? The performance. That's kind of a cool years later bonus, right? 35 years later, right. You get this. You can sell that. So
if only they had a couple of business cards left too.
Yeah. My gosh. Dave, Costco has the same review. Really? Just like that. Just check a box on a scale.
It kind of makes
Garth
sense.
was reading my mind. Yeah, the real bonus was selling the copy of the review many years later.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we'll close this one out.
So what do we got planned for next week? You have
You're asking me.
Anything in particular? Well, one thing we could. I've got I've been digging through my garage. I told you last week about my discovery of all the Mac Plus and earlier keyboard and mice. Well, another thing I've got. I have it's very interesting. It's a carrying case for the Cube, and a matching carrying case for the large cinema display. So I thought maybe we could just do. I know we've talked about the Cube before, but maybe just do something on the Cube and kind of show off those very custom made cases for specific for very specific pieces of equipment. I find interesting.
Yeah, your garage finds.
My garage find, yeah, exactly. I have so many boxes to go through still.
Garage finds.
Yep.
All right, let's record the outro. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, that's about it for this episode. Next week, we look into John's garage. He's been uncovering lots of things. Are you trying to reclaim your garage? What's the end goal?
Yeah. That's I would like to actually be able to work on stuff in my garage. Would be very nice. And that means getting rid of some arcade games that I've got in there that are basically just cases I need to get rid of, and plenty of boxes of just stuff to go through, mixtures of old computer stuff, stuff I need to get up to Atlanta to hand off to, I'm sure you've had it before where it's like, oh, hey, I've got these old computers. Can you find a home for them? And you take them and you're like, yeah, I'll find it, because I don't need to be collecting Commodore stuff or Texas Instruments or anything like that, but I know people who will want them up in Atlanta. It's just a matter of getting them up to Atlanta. Anyway, so stuff like that. So I've been going through stuff, but not going through stuff.
There's an interesting phenomenon that occurs when you're a collector, right? There's so much in the hunt and the collecting and the having, and then after a while, I don't know, it just seems to me that it kind of wears off a little bit. You're okay, I don't need any of this stuff.
That's why swap meets are neat, where you can and then you wonder, play with this piece of equipment for a while and just swap it.
Because years ago, when I would find somebody who was just giving away stuff, like my friend Bob, I would find somebody like that, and they'd be like, "Just take it, just get it out of here." Right? I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what are you talking about? This stuff is amazing," and whatever. This is a holy. How can you just you're so generous, whatever. Well, we all eventually become that person, right? And then it just kind of
Right,
passes.
yeah.
We're like,
Yeah,
just take
especially
it.
if you know it's going to somebody who's going to appreciate it, even if
Of
they only
course.
appreciate it for a few years and then hand it off to somebody else. That's
Yeah,
absolutely right.
right. I'm slowly becoming the person that's just going to start
Yep.
handing it off.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I wonder what I don't even at that point though. It takes a long time, and you don't even. It's hard to even imagine yourself and the excitement that you had in the beginning. Like, who was
Yeah,
that silly
exactly.
person?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So next week, Garage Finds. And until next week, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Aha. Okay. Yeah, but the thing that keeps my kind of spirit alive is just they appreciate it. Of course, this show and interacting with people like that
Absolutely
gives you a new lease on life.
It really
when I
does.
find
Yeah.
something and I can share it and talk about it. If I didn't have this show, well, heck, if we didn't have this podcast, we wouldn't have got as bonkers as we have, I'm sure.
That is true too. I mean, we were already pretty bonkers before we even decided to do this, because the only reason you approached me was because I had that small display at work of the iMac and the Mac Plus.
Yeah. Thanks, Charks.
Oh, thanks, Charks. Yeah,
we had fun doing it. We glad you could join us. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we will check in next week. Next week it will be.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.